By the time you get done with this thing, you know, let's see, so you've been through the golden fly, you know, tough weather, tough conditions, you know, you get a couple fish, you've been through, you know, the holly, you know, same thing, you know, I mean, the conditions got nice at the end of the week, but tough, you get a couple fish. At the end of it, I mean, you absolutely feel like you've just been hauled out into the street and beaten to death, you know? I mean, you're crawling back, you know, licking your wounds.
Just ate it. Keep it coming, keep it. He ate it.
Wow.
Yeah, never felt him.
One
Yeah.
thing, Bo.
Yeah, he came up and sipped it.
Crap.
Yep.
Never felt one tick, nothing. And I even felt contact with a fly.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, man.
I know.
That's all I can say.
Strip. Let him go. Over my head.
Broke me off on the boat. Broke me off.
I mean, do I need to explain anything at all?
I remember being told when I was like 19 or 20 years old by a gentleman down here that, you know, you can't take life too seriously because you're never gonna make it out alive.
Sick.
I'm appreciative to have that sense of humor and that lightheartedness.
Tarpon 1, doo-doo bear 0.
You know, it's probably what keeps me going through this 6-week stretch, through this tournament stretch of just banging out, you know, these tournaments and maybe having one day off in 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I mean, all I had was a morning off. So I'm doing laundry, you know, I'm paying bills that haven't been paid in 2 months, which is always nice when they start sending you the colored bills, the ones that are red, or you're like, okay, this means that I'm not gonna have, you know, electricity in about 1 day. Health insurance, that one's good. So, you know, you get those paid and you get all that knocked out. And then I'm already booked to fish that night with a great guy, you know, from Atlanta, Georgia. And as much as he likes to fly fish, I took him one time to go, you know, use live crabs at the bridge. And he just was so eaten up by it.
Reel.
Watch the front of the boat.
Where is he? Got him?
11 o'clock.
Got him. Get down, get in. All right, sit down. Here we go.
Good job, buddy. Dang, man.
Oh, what a jump. I got it? Yeah. Okay, great.
That freaking off.
Redemption, baby! Woo! Redemption! What a jump. No. Stop. Hit him. Oh, no. Ah!
That's a fish there, bro.
But that any man could have the genius to see what this wilderness of waterless sand and underbrush was capable of, and then have the nerve to build a railroad there, is more marvelous than similar developments anywhere else in the world. This was said of Henry Flagler, who was an American industrialist and founder of the overseas railroad that connected Miami to Key West. Completed in 1912, the railway was a potential trade route with Cuba and Latin America. But after the Labor Day hurricane in 1935 destroyed much of the infrastructure, the state of Florida converted from railway to the overseas highway. If the islands are the body of the Florida Keys, the bridges are the bones, connecting us to one of the richest fisheries in the United States. Structural bones that provide access for the anglers and shelter for the tarpon.
The good news is that you've got an unselfish captain here, Ryan, and I'll make sure that
I'll grab a crab.
that I hand this rod off to you.
Oh, yeah.
Grab one of those suckers out of there. They're underneath that mat.
We call it drift and dreaming because, you know, it's typically late in the afternoon, early evening, and you just get to float around out there under the stars, and you're not wearing long sleeve shirts, pants, socks, tennis shoes, a mask over your face, sunglasses, and a hat. It's like, I have hardly any skin the majority of the time exposed when I'm out in the water. So it's nice because when you do those drifting and dreaming, not only are you catching fish without doing a whole lot of work, I'm not poling, I'm not having to pick an anchor up, all the time doing different things. You just get to drift and chill out, and you can talk, with your client and reminisce and catch up on each other's life, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom.
Where is he? Got him?
11 o'clock.
Got him. Get down, get in. All right, sit down. Here we go. Keep reeling, keep reeling.
I got him. He's coming up.
Oh! There he goes. Now come to the back, 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 come to the back. There you go. Got him?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's just let her kind of come around the side here and find out what she wants.
Silver Kings is presented in part by Yeti Coolers, built for the wild. SeaDeck Marine Products. Your boat deserves SeaDeck. By Isla Mirada, the sport fishing capital of the world. And by Deep Eddy Vodka. Dive in.
It's a good one, man.
Yeah, it's a big boy. All right, you ready? Ready? Hold on. Sit down. Reel. He's gonna get you around that. Keep reeling, 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 keep reeling. Look at him.
Got him.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah. Beauty. Reel down.
Coming up.
Oh! There he goes. Oh, watch out. Come to the back, 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 come to the back. There you go. Got him?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's just let her kind of come around the side here and find out what she wants to do.
Tarpon in general are nocturnal feeders.
I'm just kind of holding it
I think she's
still.
gonna do a little do-si-do here through the bridge.
I can't see it.
When they're migrating during the day, they're getting from A to B.
There it is.
Nice.
They hit a bridge. It's like a resting point for a trucker.
There you go. Reel down.
Those bridges are the only connections between the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Because the Keys, it's a big rock, but it blocks off the flow. So all of a sudden, it's like, here's an opening. Here's a place where the Gulf can transition into the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, that ain't gonna work because with all the weight in the back of the boat, we can't reverse.
It's just a massive factory of food. It's just pumping food through those bridges. Shrimp, crabs, ballyhoo, pinfish, all sorts of stuff is just pumping through that bridge. And you're out there when they're feeding.
That weed on there. Got it.
Most people, when they're driving over it by the hundreds of thousands, the tourists coming in and out of here, they have no idea what's really going on right underneath them. As they drive over these bridges, you just have this unbelievable ecosystem that is existing, and you've got a lumber yard of 100+ pound tarpon that are sitting in these channels.
Lift up. Step back, kind of where
It's just like a swamp hunt. Reminds me of being, out in the sticks on a swamp buggy, and you got the spotlight, and you're sitting there. It's just amazing.
Stay tight. There she goes. Nice one, man. I got a little
awesome.
shower complimentary of Mr. Tarpon. Not bad.
That's good.
Let's go do it again.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice job, you. Oh, God.
Silver Kings is presented in part by SeaDeck Marine Products. Your boat deserves SeaDeck. Smith Optics. See the world differently with ChromaPop lenses. Able Reels. Crafted for chaos. And by Isla Mirada, the sport fishing capital of the world.
It's rare, but these guides will take a day off now and then, just to get a break from the rigorous grind of tarpon season.
You want to start with a gurgler, Bozer?
Yeah.
Today, Bo seeks refuge in an unlikely place with his good friend Jorge Martinez, who shares a love for tarpon and the native wildlife. They load up the little skit and head to the Everglades in search of a private spot. Quiet and isolated, where chances are they won't encounter any other people. Just mosquitoes, crocodiles, and a slew of baby tarpon. The Everglades is the birthplace of many local species. It's an untamed estuary harboring juvenile game fish in the miles of mangrove roots that exist throughout the park. Tarpon thrive in this nursery until they reach sexual maturity and push out into the Gulf. Back here, the fish are much smaller, of course, but they behave exactly the same, mimicking their 100-pound relatives in the way they crush flies, jump, and perform their crazy dance on the water.
Got him.
Do you still have to bow to these things, or do you?
No.
I'm thinking that when you
Bowing to the bugs.
Yeah, bow to the mosquitoes. I'll tell you what, it is awesome though.
It's the same fish, bro.
Yeah, it's the same fish. Same heart, same will. And definitely the same beauty.
Yeah.
You know? Just hold it right there and then I'll come down and grab him actually.
Yeah, man.
Boy, I love hooking them right there when
When you gotta grab
when
them.
you got them on the ocean. Yeah, man. It's amazing when when you're out here and you're fishing for these things, and it's like you get this little fish that's 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and you're thinking, oh, it's a little fish, kind of like a bonefish. Maybe people think that they're not going to fight as hard, but it's amazing that they have all the fight built into their DNA. I mean, it is just a gorgeous little fish, and it's great that that these fish are here
And making a comeback.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks, man.
Good job, brother.
All right, swap it up.
Swap it up.
Fossil record is very interesting about tarpon because the tarpon ancestors first showed up about 120 million years ago. And that's the same time when Triceratops were being chased by Tyrannosaurus rex. So it's interesting to see that they, were both present at the same time on the planet. But then that's the ancestor of tarpon. So between 120 million years ago, where they first showed up, and then about 18 million years ago is when Megalops atlanticus showed up. So you could even say, if you do the math, that's about I like to think of it, that's 102 million years of evolution to really tweak it and get it right. So, and then you would think of, so to go back to when Megalops atlanticus, the tarpon we fish for today, 18 million years ago. Well, humans didn't show up till 6 million years ago. So they've been on the planet much longer than we have been. It certainly is interesting. So it just adds to the respect of the fish.
There he goes. That was awesome, bro.
Nice, man.
Good job, Bozer.
Badass.
Yeah, it's fun to come back here and catch a few of those little guys, man.
Speaking of coming back here, why don't you come back onto the platform?
Yeah. No bow hogs here, son. I think there's a big relation in art and fly fishing, and this whole thing is an art form. Fly casting is an art form. I'm the artist, man. It just so happens that I fish, and I love to fish. And like I said, if this is my contribution to the scene right now, I'm honored to be a part of it, man. Oh, that one's mad.
Little greyhound. People wonder why these things are so vicious when they get older.
Silver Kings is presented in part by Yeti Coolers, built for the wild. Florida Keys Outfitters, your go-to source for saltwater fly fishing success. By Patagonia, fly fishing apparel and gear. And by Deep Eddy Ruby Red Vodka. Dive in.
Wednesday morning. Wonder what all the other people of the world are doing right now. Probably sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
Look at them all up here. Have at it, George. Eat your heart out.
I was born in Miami, Florida, and just kind of always been into fishing. And probably in about 5th grade, I moved over to the west coast of Florida, to Punta Gorda, and that's kind of where I got really in touch with this whole fishing thing. And, you know, started fishing and kind of pursuing just this outdoor lifestyle, you know, of fishing and being outside and being out on the boat and just trying to get in touch with that fishing environment. And shortly after that, I mean, I've always drawn, but it seems like when I moved over there, I started fishing more, and that's when I tied in the art with the fishing and started drawing these fish and painting fish, and not just fish, just everything outside, you know, the landscapes, the fish, and that's when the paintings really started to evolve, because I had just like an overload of all this visual stuff coming in. I was fishing the Keys, I was fishing the Everglades, you know, all the different waters, all the different territories, and it just,
not off the brand.
It all just got tied into the paintings, you know?
How cool was that, man? Look at these little guys.
That's the thing with the fishing versus the art. You know, the fishing's there all the time. Like I'm always game to go fish, you know, no matter what. The art has to be kind of like, it's a feeling, you know what I mean? Translated to an expression.
It's great to see these fish coming back, especially after the freeze, you know, in 2010.
They took
a huge hit, and it's really great to see, you know, the population coming back. And we're not going to handle these things much at all. We're just going to get this hook out and let them go.
When I paint, I try to tell a story, you know, with each painting. And if you're a fisherman,
cool?
Everybody could look at one of my paintings and find themselves in that situation, or they have found themselves in that situation. All the same mechanics.
All right, buddy, head on out. Nice,
job,
man,
brother.
nice.
Thank you, son. That's basically what my objective is with my art. It's kind of like a storytelling of fishing from a point of view that not everybody gets to see. Most of my paintings depict a fish in their natural environment, chasing a fly, chasing a lure, chasing a bait. I just feel like a lot of guys go through the motion, they'll go and they'll fish, and yeah, you get that picture when you get the fish on the boat, like the hero shot, you know, as it's called. As to where my paintings, I try to capture that moment leading up to the hero shot, you know, when you deliver the fly or the lure or whatever, and the fish kind of commits and eats it. And you know, in the Keys, you're not allowed to fish for money, so they started doing art and sculptures as a trophy, and you know, and you had Millard and you had Vaughn and Tim Borski and guys like that kind of basically paved the road for me to be able to make a living at this by selling my work to private collections, as well as, you know, providing some of these prestigious tarpon tournaments and inshore backcountry tournaments with, it's honestly the only thing you take home from these tournaments, other than, you know, the experience of being there, your interaction with your guide for 3 or 5 days or whatever. It's the only thing you actually take home that's in the physical that you get to look at every day, and when you walk by, it reminds you of, damn, I won the Gold Cup, or I won the Holly, and I'm honored to be a part of it, man. Honestly, just relentless right now,
Full-on
dude.
attack mode right now.
They found us, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
They just whistled to their boys. Hey.
Boy, before.
Oh. There it is. There it is. Just kind of know it.
Oof, man, Jesus, dude. These damn things, bro, I feel like Lionel from you know, Peanuts, from Charlie Brown, except instead of a dust cloud, I got a damn cloud of these mosquitoes. I'm about to go postal on somebody here.
I heard they follow your exhale.
Oh my God.
You must have some sticking breath.
I'm about to
now,
hold
dog.
my breath to freaking keep these things from. Come here, Mr. Tarpon.
If you look into the sun, all you see is little white things buzzing all over your face.
Gosh. Come on, little buddy.
Make it quick, little buddy. We got to ride.
Dude, I'm trying to make it quick.
Oh my God.
I'm trying. All right, man.
Is that the last one, bro?
Yep.
Good job, Bozer.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Here he goes.
There you go.
You know, just like we were talking about earlier, I think that there's a lot of simplicity, you know, that you overlook when you do this stuff and you go out and you make it more difficult than it's supposed to be. And for you and I, when you got a 2-year-old daughter, almost 3.
This is a total
You know?
getaway, just being out here,
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
The fact that we caught those little fish, it worked out. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so, you know, a lot of times too, you forget that, especially in our situation, with you being so busy and me being a guide and being so busy, usually when we come out here, we just want to catch and catch and catch, and it's all about, man, we don't get out here enough together, but I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but then it puts like a time schedule, like, oh, we're running out of day, we're running out of shots, you know?
I know.
This just all happened, it was easy, it flowed, you know, we got here, the fish were there.
Yeah.
You know, we got them.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. That's what those little suckers are.
Oh, Prince.
They're not silver kings yet. No, they're silver princes. Some of those guys weren't even princes yet.
They didn't even have scruff.
To see and learn more and to watch full-length episodes, log on to silverkingstv.com.
Whatever comes